Spiritual Principles, Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. The 31st Spiritual Principle. Any attribute of the higher is determined as a measure of mercy with respect to the attribute of the adjacent lower. Please refer to the written materials for the text in Hebrew. What is the concept of mercy? Rachamim. In Kabbalah, we learn that a person has 248 organs of spiritual perception, abbreviated as Ramach. The gematria is 248. There are always 248, and when he corrects himself, they work perfectly. So what are these perfect organs to which the 248 to-do prescriptions in the Torah correspond to in the spiritual world? The name Abraham also has a gematria of 248, for he corrected all of his organs. And if you change the second and third letters in the word Ramach and rearrange them, you will get the word Rachem, womb. And the same thing is the basis of the Racham, of the word Rachamim, mercy. This means when a person corrects all his organs of spiritual perception, he draws mercy into them. Ramach also means a spear, that is, by working on it, by reworking his organs, kelim, a person receives a spear, that is the ability and the strength to fight with the sitra achra, to prevent it from entering his kelim. And thus, this word turns into the basis of the word Racham. It is necessary to remember these spiritual concepts in the Holy Language, for in translations into other languages of the world, including the translation of the concept of mercy, there is no heart. Rachamim is Rachamim, real mercy, while the attribute of a merciful heart described in other languages is from the lower, unclean forces. They all talk about merciful hearts, but where will you find mercy in their churches or their synagogues, temples, and all their charitable religious organizations? All these are just words behind which private and group interests are hidden. I still translate all these things into Russian too, and I do this only because I post it on our website, on our Facebook page, where some beginner will take it on. You yourself no longer have to say to yourself the property of mercy, the property of the severity of the law, but you must operate with concepts that work, that give strength, in order to adequately transfer the forces of the higher laws of the universe. From Tes, Talmud Eser Sfirot. And it was explained to us by means of these introductions. The kelim of the Sfirot have, during the coming of the lights and their expulsion back to Ma'atzil, the two types of lights. The first is called Or Choser, and it is Din. And the second is the light which remained in the Kli, which is called Reshimo, which is Or Yeshar, and it is mercy. For it remained there from the aspect of the lights that came from above to below, in the aspect of Or Yeshar. The first propagation of light is attracted by extending Malchut from her and into her by 10 Sfirot to Malchut de Guf, which is the attraction of the light from top down, that is, to the aspect of dressing, which is called direct light, mercy. And also all Reshemot who remain from these 10 Sfirot after this light has departed, this is also Or Yeshar, mercy, but in the aspect of a small luminescence, which is called Reshemo, remaining trace from the light previously in the Kli. However, those levels that merge through the Zivug de Haka'ah, that on the path of Malchut's rise and thinning from step to step, from bottom to top, until the whole light is concealed, all these levels are called Or Choser, Din, since these levels gradually decrease until they are completely taken out. And at that moment, when this desire of bestowal is revealed in the creation, then the great light from the emanator, Ma'atzil, which relates to the force of awakening of this desire, that is, to the same extent, is attracted to it, and this light is called Or de Hasidim, the light of mercy, in every place. Light or Hoser is also, or always, it is always Din, because it comes from the creation. And the light that comes from the top down is always mercy. Hesed is the right line, Din is the left line, and Rachamim, mercy, is the middle line. It is impossible to live simply in Hesed, in grace, or living only in Din, judgment, is also impossible, and the middle line is mercy. But it is very important to know that all three lines are tied, connected. There is no way to be in one, that is, if there is mercy, it means that there are both Hesed and Din also present. A person cannot show mercy if he does not have the other two, Hesed and Din. However, then a partnership was made with the property of mercy, that is, Malchut, which has the property of Din, was included, and joined in the partnership with each of the 9 Sfirot, who are called the property of charity, for they all belong to the light, except Malchut. Thanks to this partnership, the Kli in each Sfirah was made. Then the formation of the 10 Sfirot is completed as it should be. And then the 3 lines called Hesed, Din, and Rachamim are made in 10 Sfirot. And this is what the wise men of the Torah tell us in this statement, that the root cause of the worlds called the first world arose and came out in the aspect of the Kli of Malchut, which is called the property of Din. It's quoted from the statement. The Creator saw that the world thus would not stand, and there was no perfection that he desired from the creation of the world in it, and therefore he rose and united it by property of mercy. That is, this caused the aspect of connection and partnership with the properties of mercy to come out of it as a consequence, and because of this, the 10 Sfirot emerged, and the lights and Kilim were emanated, as mentioned above in the 3 lines. Cheder, Chesed, Din, and Rachamim. And to the same aspect, the sages of the Torah secretly pointed out also in another place, changed by the words, Pirkei Avot, teachings of the fathers. The world was created with 10 utterances, but he could have created only with one saying. But to give retribution to the villains who destroy the world also was created by 10 utterances, and to give a good reward to the righteous who make the world stable, which was created by the 10 utterances. 10 utterances means 10 Sfirot, as is known. And they, the wise men, ask, since the former world was created in the essence of one saying, that is, in essence only one Kli, in the Kli Malchut, as was said above, if so, why did 10 Sfirot develop and emerge from it? To this they explained, to give retribution to the villains, etc., and give a good reward to the righteous. That is, that the intention of the Creator is to give pleasure to his creatures. This plan can stand in only by managing reward and punishment. That is, after 10 Sfirot, they are the controls in 3 lines, Hesed, Din, and Rachamim. Therefore, the former world, in which there was only the Kli Malchut, he had to develop from one state to another, from cause to effect, until 10 Sfirot were radiated, which are the connections in the partnership of the properties of mercy and Din, which reveals the management of reward and punishment, and it only leads to good, which is included in the essence of the purpose of creation, as explained. And so, the beginning of the mentioned partnership, the properties of Din and Rachamim, was produced in the world Akudim itself through the thinning of the Aviyut in the Masach. Because of this, 3 partsufs appeared and developed, one from the other, which are Galgalta, Ab, and Sag. Despite the fact that all of them, for the time being, were the aspect of akudim, related or tied, nevertheless, in them, the aspect of connection, the partnership is progressive, as it will be written and explained below. And then Partsuf Bon of Adam Kadmon, called the world of Nekudim, arose so that 3 lines were radiated, Chesed, Din, and Rachamim, in 10 Sfirot of the first 3 Sfirot, Kachab, Keter, Chochmah, and Binah, which is called the head, world of Nekudim. But in Zat, in the 7 lower Sfirot, 10 Sfirot appeared only in 1 line. And now, in this world, Nekudim, the aspect of breaking of the Kelim occurred. So, in any state, it is necessary to feel and work in 2 lines. When you work on the right line, you are absorbed in the Creator, full of grace to everything and everyone. After all belong to His creation, including all kinds of enemies. But with all this one-sided, unconditional love for everything and everyone in the right line, it is necessary to link this with the property of the left line. At the same time, the right one dominates here. When you work in the left line, you move as far as possible from the convergence with all the creatures of the creation that stems from unconditional love to all creatures of creation and remain in the state of one-on-one. But not to succeed or not to secede as a goal in itself, but only to work on oneself through the forces of what is called the righteous rage. As without it, there can be no advancement in the spiritual, but here he must connect the property of mercy and unconditional love. And everything must remain under the auspices of righteous anger. And so, in every condition. And the Creator will make for you the middle line, in which both sides merge into one whole. This is the state of true reality, in which Rachamim, mercy, is manifested. That is, the state of sensation of Rachamim. True reality is the result of the work in the 2 lines.